Charmaine, and my guest today is a breakout actor who has starred in movies and television shows like Degrassi, Next Generation, Selma, and When the Game Stands Tall. And he's here today to talk about his new movie as the U.S. Olympian Jesse Owens in the new biopic Race. Help me welcome Mr. Stephan James to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you are so welcome. First, I want to say congratulations on all of your success. You are such a fantastic actor at a young age, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And next, I got to get in my early happy birthday, since I won't be talking to you on December the 16th, so I want to be one of the first to say happy birthday to you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. It's very nice of you.
Oh, no problem at all. You know, and I was so surprised because, you were at the Grambling State University game, the Bayou Classic, and I attended Grambling State. So I was watching the game and I found out that you are from Canada. I was so surprised. So when did you move here to the United States, although you're not too far? But when did you move here to the States?
Actually, I still live in Toronto. I still live in Canada. So
Do you?
I haven't fully moved yet.
Okay. So when did your acting career begin? So it began in Canada, I'm so sure. How did Hollywood end up finding you?
Yeah, well, I think, in high school, theater was something I really started to take seriously. And, I really saw how people were reacting to me in the theater world, and I just wondered how it would translate into the film and television world. So 6 years ago, I got myself representation, and now I've been in the business 6 years, and I've been, fortunate enough to be a part of some pretty incredible things. So I'm pretty blessed.
Now, I want to say, Stephan, you just said that so lightly. 6 years ago, I got myself some representation. You know how many people then got representation 20 years ago and still have not had the success that you have? I wish I could say that, 6 years ago, I got an agent and girl, it just happened. So really, the agent that you found, were they here in the States or were they there in Canada and they just had great connections, or was it just your fantastic talent?
Well, yeah, I started off with an agent in Toronto, and as we kept working and our relationship sort of grew, we figured that we probably needed someone else on the team. So, through his connections and stuff, we got representation in Los Angeles too. So now we're on both sides of the coast.
Okay, that's as we used to say, everybody ain't able. So congratulations on that. And you were in.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You were in the movie When the Game Stands Tall, based on the Bay Area football team De La Salle. Now, I'm from the Bay Area, born and raised in Richmond, as a matter of fact, where your character that you played was killed. And I wanted to ask you a question. What was it like to play a real life character, especially a young man who was killed at such an early age, and knowing that you had to play that and to bring that to life on the screen? What was that like for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so funny because these stories that I've been doing, whether it's Selma, whether it's Race, these stories are 50 years ago and 80 years ago, and it's so far displaced. But you look at something like When the Game Stands Tall and the whole De La Salle story, and that's so, it only happened, not too long ago. So, it's really close to home for a lot of people still, and obviously for myself as a young man and athlete, to go and look at a story like TK's story and somebody who had so much, so much potential and was obviously on the road to doing great things, and then to have his life taken away from him, it's obviously sad, and it's something that, it really hits home to me, being a part of a lot of sports teams growing up, and I can only imagine, what that whole ordeal was like. But obviously, it's something that I was able to relate to, and being in an environment where I was a student athlete. So, I can only imagine what would it be like to lose one of your brothers in that respect.
Obviously, I remember De La Salle's winning streak when I used to watch the Friday night highlights. And when De La Salle would come up, they won. So I was like, okay, let's move on to the next school. Because you always knew De La Salle won, every Friday night, because that's what I grew up watching. And I wanted to know, where did you shoot? Because I didn't remember Richmond looking like that. And I'm like, did they really shoot that in Richmond? What city did you guys shoot that scene in?
It's movie magic.
I know it is, because we were all at the theater talking about, no, that ain't Richmond, because we were born and raised in Richmond. Where that's at? L.A., Hollywood, where that's at? That ain't Richmond.
Well, you good. You definitely were paying attention. We appreciate that. We appreciate you were paying attention. But,
yes, all of us Richmondites, we know.
Yeah. No, we actually shot it in New Orleans, but hopefully we did the story justice.
You did. You did. So thank you for that. And also, you have been so blessed to star in some historical dramas and real life stories. What is it that directors see in you that they feel that you connect to those roles?
I honestly have no clue. I think you probably have to ask them. I know that with myself, I just try to put my all into anything I do, really. So, to have these directors who have done incredible things, see something in me, where they feel like I could portray these characters. I'm not even American, but I'm, I'm playing these, great American heroes and really world heroes. So, for them to see that in me and, see that I'm committed, especially when it comes on to, doing anything, period, and, shifting myself and putting myself in sort of that zone, I think now people know that I can do that.
And because you also played the young Congressman John Lewis in Selma, and what an impactful role for a new actor such as yourself in Hollywood. What was your experience like playing John Lewis? And did you get a chance to sit down and talk with him about his time with Dr. Martin Luther King, the Selma Walk, so you can get into your character? Did you have that experience with him?
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously playing John Lewis is, a great man who's still alive doing incredible work. So it's obviously a little nerve-wracking, knowing that he's about to see you portray him. And, you can only hope to do him justice because, he's very highly, thought of, I'm sure, not only by himself, but, by, the world over, really. So, for me, it was incredible just to dive into his shoes and literally, walk in the same footsteps as he did while shooting Selma. I didn't get to spend a whole ton of time with him beforehand, but one day I was shooting and John Lewis, he popped in. Literally, we were in the middle of a scene, and director calls cut, and in walks John Lewis, and I don't think I'll ever forget what that was like, seeing him for the first time, and it was almost like an out-of-body experience, seeing a person who you've been studying for so long, and then he's finally in your presence. So, to finally touch base with him and talk to him, and that was great. And he loves the film. So, that's all I could ask for.
So, what did he think of you playing him as a character on screen? Did he give you any pointers? Did he say you did a great job? What did he say to you?
Yeah. He's told me that I've done a great job, and I've seen him in tears after a couple of the screenings. So, I know it's touched him. It's really touched home for him, and I've always said that if he's happy with it, then it doesn't really matter to me what anyone else thinks. So, I'm just happy that he was happy about the portrayal.
Wonderful. Now, you are taking on the role of Olympian Jesse Owens in the upcoming Focus Features film Race. How long have you been acting? And then I'm going to ask you, did you ever think you would take on such an iconic role so early in your acting career?
Definitely not. I really didn't expect to be doing something like this so soon. But, then again, I never really give myself ceilings or limits in terms of anything. So, to me, it was just, that, I got Race right after Selma. So to me, it was just it was something that was sort of ordained to happen. I felt like I was in a space where I was meant to be in. And, I was able to sort of take a lot of things from Selma, things that I learned from Selma, to move into Race, and to finally, have my own film. Watching David Oyelowo play Dr. King meant a lot to me because I was able to see, what it meant to lead a movement, to lead a film, and to do incredible things, and to just display those leadership qualities on set. And it really starts with, the main character. So, that's sort of the angle I try to approach it from.
Okay. Now, why did you decide to even take on such a role in such depth and magnitude? And how did you get involved in this role to play Jesse Owens? Because I know when somebody says, okay, we have this role as Jesse Owens, and, you've been in the game a short time, and you decided to take on this role with so much depth. What was going through your mind?
Well, like anybody, I figured it would be incredible. I read the script and I thought that, it was incredibly written, and what a story. I was reminded of the incredible things Jesse had done. And, for me, it was like, I called my agent back after I read the script and I said, I gotta play him. Like, I have to play him. And, we got to find a way. So we met with the director. I flew out and met Stephen Hopkins, and we had a couple meetings, and I got to audition for him. And 2 weeks later, I got the call, and he let me know that I would be playing Jesse. So, for me, it was like any other sort of audition. I was just determined, and I was focused, and I knew that if this was coming to, if this was gonna come to me and be, something that fell in my lap, that I was going to take full advantage and make sure I dove into the story completely.
Now, this movie was based in the 1930s. How did you prepare mentally, physically for this role to reenact him? Because we know he was a great runner. How did you even get into shape for this particular role?
Yeah, well, I think, certainly physically, you have to look at it. He's the best, at one point was the fastest man alive. So, obviously you got to put some sort of work in, to make it look real. So while I was filming Selma down in Atlanta, my off days on Selma, I would just, train at Georgia Tech for race to play Jesse. So literally every off day I had, I was in the gym with the coaches at Georgia Tech, trying to work on running faster, running like Jesse. What did his start look like? What did his stride look like? What did the way he finished the race look like? How did his face look? So there was a lot of little details that I had to pay attention to make sure I was being accurate, and looking legitimate. So often with these sorts of films, because they're based on true stories and true events, people are really looking for them to be accurate, and it's important that you tell the truth.
And my next question for you, I was watching the trailer, and I think myself and my husband was watching the trailer, and we didn't even know all those things about Jesse Owens. Well, I just know him as a great sprinter. He's an Olympian, and he's a great athlete. But to tell his story, the trailer opened up so much for me and my husband just watching the little 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We didn't know Jesse went through all those things. For you, what do you want the audience to take away from watching this film? Because we know it's a story of an American hope, tolerance, and excellence. But what do you think we should take away from this film?
I think the main important message, in this film is just inspiration. If you can't be inspired by a story like this, Jesse did an incredible thing in a time where a lot would say that was unlikely, going over to Nazi Germany in 1936, in front of a stadium of 150,000 people. And you can only imagine how alone he must have felt, despite being in such a big environment. So I think that if anyone could take inspiration from that sort of thing, having to face adversity, having to, feel some sort of, feeling like you're not, like you don't have a support system, or that you're not at home. And Jesse wasn't at home, but he was able to overcome so many great obstacles and prove himself, to be a hero the world over. And I think he did it unknowingly. So I think that the biggest thing people could draw from this is just inspiration.
Great. Thank you. Now, I just want to throw this out there. If you ever play a football player, Clinton Portis is a person I think you should play. You look just like him. Google him, and you will be able to play.
So?
Oh, I know so. We was watching the story last night. So I think that's the next person you should play if you do sports. Clinton Portis. But again, I want to thank you.
Hey, maybe you gotta work on it.
Yes. So, I just want to say again, thank you so much. Thank you for the incredible work that you've brought to the screen. I've enjoyed everything that I've seen you in, and I know God has even greater things for you. And I want to remind the viewing audience to make sure that you go see the movie Race in theaters February the 19th. Let's go and support Mr. Stephan James. Thank you so much, and I look forward to having you back on the show.
All right. Thank you. Anytime.
Thank you.
Lady Charm.